Welcome back to Hannity. President Obama claims to be a constitutional scholar, but he has a long history of circumventing the law of the land. And late last week, we were given yet another example to help prove our point. A federal court ruled that President Obama violated the Constitution by making 3 recess appointments to the National Labor Relations Board. But the White House, they're fighting back, and they're calling the ruling by the U.S. Court of Appeals in D.C., quote, unprecedented. It's actually just the opposite. And this is just yet another example to add to the growing list that we have been highlighting right here on this very program about how far Obama is willing to stretch the Constitution and his presidential powers. Now, we saw this in Libya, where the president did not get congressional approval to launch air assaults. We saw this when he decided to issue an executive order stopping the deportation of thousands of illegal immigrants. We saw this when he jammed through Obamacare. We saw this when the Justice Department refused to uphold the Defense of Marriage Act. And we saw it when the administration weakened welfare requirements and pushed through his controversial contraception mandate. And unfortunately, I don't think the most recent example that we have been given is going to be the last. Joining me now in studio with reaction, Texas Congressman Louis Gohmert and Tennessee Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn. How are you guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Sean.
I don't think he respects the Constitution, and he keeps pushing it to a breaking point. Fair statement?
I think you're exactly right. And what we can't continue to see in Congress is that he circumvents us. I think the American people are tired of this president not respecting the Constitution and trying to go around Congress and trying to do executive orders and try to have special commissions to decide problems, all things that we in Congress should be doing.
Aren't there supposed to be co-equal branches of government, separation of powers? This is pretty basic stuff, right?
It is basic stuff, and it's part of the Constitution, but I think one of the big legal ramifications that should come out of this would be a class action lawsuit by all of those who had him as a constitutional law instructor to get their money back. I think it'd be a lay-down case for him. This guy does not respect the Constitution. He does not abide by the Constitution, and we've seen it repeatedly, including the things you mentioned. When you have a president that stands up and says, I don't like the law that duly passed Congress and was signed into law by another president, so I don't like it. Here's the new law. And he pronounces the new law as he speaks. That's not a president that does that.
Well, and obviously this court said that. So this was a real big loss for him. You can't make a recess appointment when the Senate's not in recess.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, what my hope is that you're going to see the Labor Relations Board have to be called null and void. All of these decisions that they have made, null and void. The same thing would happen with the Consumer Financial Protection Board and Richard Cordray. That should all be null and void, because you cannot do this. The court has said you can't do it, and they have moved forward with these sweeping actions. So it's time to recall it all.
All right, let me talk politics with both of you. Louis, you opposed John Boehner for Speaker.
I like the man, but thought it's time for a change.
Okay. Marsha,
I supported him.
You supported him, but you're also a conservative.
Right.
I said on this program Friday night that unless and until House Republicans totally, completely unite as one team, you will have no power. You will have the power if the Republican caucus gets in a room and unites in a strategy for Obama. I think the country needs your caucus to do that. Am I right?
Well, I don't think it hurts to have disagreement within the Republican caucus. You know, Ed Fullner has talked about how much money Ronald Reagan raised for the Heritage Foundation, even when the Heritage Foundation was taking shots at him for not being conservative enough. And Ed says, you know, President Reagan says, look, I need you on my right fussing at me, so when I negotiate with Tip O'Neill,
I'm not saying to give up your principles, but if the Republicans in the House are not united on, and I would argue, on conservative principles, Obama's going to win, and that the only way you have power if you're together. Is that?
I think that you're right there.
Yeah.
The number one issue with the American people is the out-of-control spending.
Yeah.
And you know, we took our actions with the no budget, no pay. And this weekend, when I was in California with some of my colleagues' constituents, people were excited that we laid down the law and pointed out they realized for the first time the Senate hadn't done their job. And Sean, they want to see us hold the Senate accountable. They want to see us push forward united to cut back this spending and put us on the road to fiscal health. We're getting ready to do a budget, and it's a tall order.
Have you ever gotten in a room and has anyone ever said we need to get together or else we have no power against Obama?
It's been said over and over. When the Speaker brings yet another bill that gives away our leverage and has not cut spending, then that's all we hear. I love football, my favorite sport, but I get tired of the football metaphors. Gee, there's no I in team. We can only have one quarterback in the huddle. Whereas a better football metaphor is if you're getting the kickoff and you take it and start running toward your own goal, don't expect me to block for you going the wrong goal. You know, we need to be together on the things we agree on. And the things we agreed on, and every one of us took a pledge called the pledge. That's what we agreed on, but we haven't stood by the things that we pledged.
See, that would be the first. That's the next challenge.
It was a great pledge.
How about the party that's for a balanced budget against generational theft and a party that's for entitlement reform and won't give in? If everybody in the caucus did that, you have power.
Yeah, we're going to protect seniors' Social Security by not letting it go broke. We're going to protect future generations. We ought to be having the seniors and the young people on our side.
I think that there is plenty for us to do. What people want us to do most of all is deliver, to take some action and to get the job done.
Without uniting,
out
you can't.
Process.
And I'm tired of watching Obama divide conservatives.
That's right.
I'm tired of it.
We need to stick together, but you've been
Let me come speak to the caucus. I want to come.
We'll invite you.
And this is last year's congressional pin. You have been producing. You've talked about.
I have wanted this pin forever.
You deserve one. Come on.
Oh, Louis Gohmert, God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
All right.